3D FrankenPunks dropped, had huge volume, and they're currently sitting around 6x above mint price. Let's jump in and check out the post-drop pre-reveal stats. Now, touching on this real quick, it's a 10,000 item NFT. It minted at 0.09, or was a 0.088 ETH each, and the idea is it had a closed Discord so it could build a strong community, and the overarching aspect of it was take the mint money, then fractionalize punk ownership, so everyone kind of had an ownership of some punks, then set a sell price of some of those punks, and then distribute the profits accordingly. Anyway, let's jump over onto OpenSea to get a snapshot of the project. We can see the 10,000 items, 5,000 owners, so it's a 50% distribution, and the floor price is almost at 0.6 ETH, and this is pre-reveal. It's going to be revealing in the next sort of 24 to 48 hours from the moment of recording this video. Now, when we head on over to Nansen, what we can see here is it was deployed 4 days ago, and it had a very, very strong whitelist because the community was so tight. Now, what is nice about this chart is we can see that it is basically just run straight up. Now, there is a little bit of a dip down and a little punch through, but overall, if you take the very first average price and the average price currently now, it is sitting in an uptrend, so that's good. Now, what you'll also notice is on the price range, the minimum price, which is the red, it's just trending up. The green price has trended up and then it's sitting flat. But overall, this is textbook in what you want to see. Now, real quick, I want to say that this software that I'm using is Nansen. There is a link for a tutorial up here. Nansen is a paid software, but it's very powerful, very good if you want to get statistics like this on a project that has dropped. Now, when we're kind of getting back into this, what we can see is that the average price kind of peaked out around this kind of almost 0.7 mark, and then it kind of dipped back down. But the past sort of few hours or so, it's kind of kicked back up. So what I'm kind of seeing here is it seems like pre-reveal, we're hitting at a bit of a support at around the sort of 0.5, 0.55 mark. This is for the average price, which is nice to see. It makes me think that when we got some resistance at around that 0.4 mark, I would imagine that if the floor post-reveal is to drop, we should be hitting around that sort of 0.35, 0.4 mark, which isn't bad for anyone that kind of got in before the public sale in this whole section here, which is good to see. Now, what usually happens is when there's a reveal, the price floor would drop, but I can see a lot of people talking about this project. There's a lot of movement on this project and a lot of volume on this project, so I can see this kind of staying up quite high, but do be prepared if you have not been through this process before for the price floor to drop. Saying that, I don't see it dropping too far from this point. Now, when we have a look at the individual transaction, this is from that peak of a day, and we can see that it has been in a steady downtrend over the past sort of 2 days, but those 2 days are these days that we've had right here. And what you will notice with the individual transactions is we're almost hitting that support at around that 0.5 mark. We can see a little bump, then almost a little bump a little bit higher. It dipped down, but then went straight back up, and then it's kind of sitting around that 0.5 mark, and it's kind of boosted back up. Overall, what the chart is saying is it's basically saying that people are seeing value in this under that sort of 0.5 mark. So they're seeing that as a discount and they're scooping them up when they can because it's a quick rebound. It's a V-shaped recovery. When we have a look at the top balances of this project, what we can see here is that there has been an absolute mozza taken by the top spot. The top spot has 115. Next is 40. That's almost a factor of 3 between number 1 and number 2. And then to round out the top 10 is 17. So yes, there is a crazy difference between the top holder and the 10th holder. But what you'll also notice, which is nuts, is the fact that they've had 300 in their wallet at one point and they have offloaded quite a sum. So for me, it's showing that they are kind of letting this ride out a little bit, but I do think we will kind of hit a price ceiling at some point because they are holding quite a lot and they could sort of cap the ceiling. Saying that, once the top 10 are eaten up, it looks like this project could run quite fast in terms of floor price. Now, having a look at the unique addresses, this is what we like to see. It is just a straight run up. It kind of hit out on that public sale, but other than that, it is just moving ahead. And we can see we're at that sort of 5,016 mark out of the 10,000 items. So we're at that sort of 50% mark, which is good to see. I like to see that a little bit higher, but what I think will happen is that we will see a lot of these top holders kind of offloading some when it comes to the public sale. There'll be a spike down. There will be people that want to move into this project, and I can see this rising up to around 5,500 to 6,000 unique holders. When we come down to the percentage holding one NFT, same deal. It's on a straight run up. So I can see that getting to around that sort of 55-60% quite easily. I personally like it when we get to around sort of that 70% holder mark, because I feel like it's good when the community's holding it, because it means that if people sell from the project, they're essentially leaving the project. They can't kind of sell one and hold one and continue in. Now, looking at the profit leaderboard and seeing how far this ran up, we can see that the top profit taker, not even 3 ETH profit, and to round out the top 10, 1.7. Now, what you'll notice here is that all of these people in the top 10 have bought and sold all of the amounts, so they're not in the project anymore. So the top profit takers completely paper-handed and gone. So what it's currently looking like is the people that are currently holding the FrankenPunks at the moment are holding on to kind of see where they're going to be going after the reveal and seeing what the team will actually kick into gear. And the team have been doing great work up until the project. So I think there's that combination of a very good strong holder base and the team actually executing quite well. Now, having a look at the top 5 buying addresses, we can see that it is very scattered around that sort of 0.5 to 0.6 mark. Now, what I would say is that if you can then get in under that 0.5 mark, you're going to be getting in at a discount. If you could get in under that 0.4 mark, you're going to be getting in at the best entry point, getting rid of this outlier for this project. If you're looking at the top 5 buying addresses, the people that are holding the most. So getting in under that 0.5 mark to 0.4 mark is a good entry point if you want to kind of beat them out. When it comes down to smart money, it is a similar story. If you can get in under that 0.5 to 0.4 mark, you're in a good position for an entry point for where the smart money has bought into the project. And then having a look at the recent transaction to see how fast the floor is moving. What we can see is that over a 1 hour period, we're kind of getting around 8 to 9 sales, but currently right now it is around sort of 2-3 a.m. in the States. So it is a little bit off when it comes down to how fast this can be moving. But seeing the volume that we did have on the public sale day, I can see us kind of running up and getting around 800 ETH worth of volume when we kind of get to the reveal, possibly up to that 1500 if it goes absolutely nuts. But I'm kind of being conservative and saying we'll get around that 800 ETH mark when we get to the reveal. So what do I think of FrankenPunks before the reveal? When it comes down to this project, it is on point with the meta right now with the 3D aspect, because that's very hot right now in NFTs. What I also think is the idea of fractionalization is great. It's very good. It's attainable for lots of people in the space, but they're also doing it in a way where they're throwing lots of ETH at it and they're not kind of doing it as an afterthought. Now, I also think the team are doing a great job. They've got a YouTube channel where they're putting a lot of content out. They're communicating very well. The way that they did their locked Discord and the sales have been amazing. I do think the floor will drop when we get to the reveal, because that is what happens, and it's very rare for a floor not to drop after the reveal. Saying that, if you did get in at mint price, this does look like a very good hold, at least for the short term. And if you're looking at getting in before the reveal, it may actually put you at a disadvantage when it comes down to sniping a very low price. Now, like I said, this meta is quite hot, with 3D being almost the talk of the town when it comes to NFTs. One thing that could come to a head is if punks don't actually kind of rise in value and CryptoPunks actually do kind of sort of have a bit of a crash or a dip. That could affect the holdings of the community wallet, which then in turn could affect the actual kind of value of the NFT, because these are going to be heavily tied to CryptoPunks. So the way that I like to think of this is, if you think that punks will stand the test of time, they will be here in 30, 40, 50 years time, then this may be a gamble for you. I don't think this is the type of NFT that blows up and hits another 10x from this point right now. The team have a plan, they have a vision. You should check out that plan, you should check out that vision and see if it aligns with what you're doing. This looks like more a long-term play than a short-term play. Saying that, if you did get in at mint, you're sitting quite pretty right now, which means that you could make a flip right before the reveal. Anyway, I hope you found value in this video. If you did, please consider hitting that subscribe button. While you're down there, also hit up that like button. It helps let me know what types of content you like, so I can then make more of that in the future, so you can get more value when watching videos on YouTube about NFTs. As always, it's been a pleasure having you with me. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.